bracket we go. Let's just cast some good Halo. We got good Halo coming up. You got Recharge loading on screen. I cannot wait to see these boys in the action. We have not witnessed Incognito all tournament, by the way, and this is a hell of a team. Gary, we didn't get any time to talk about it, but we're talking Karmea, Abature, Neighbor, by the way, Mason Cobb, and Hative to round it out.
Yeah, Neighbor, he said, hey, am I coaching? No more coaching.
Not
You're
coaching.
playing. You know, the legacy precedes him, one of the best to ever do it on the sticks, and he still got it, man. He's still sick with it in today's tournament, ready to make an upset. Fnatic been on a little bit of a roller coaster ride these last few months, decided to make a change. They say, hey, Onboard, you're out. Rammyy, you're in. And so far, it's been tumultuous, to say the least. These guys not having their greatest performances. They need to find a bounce back versus Incognito.
And I think the worry here is going 0-3 in pools and then going up against a team like Incognito. You start to believe that, you know, even maybe Incognito can upset Fnatic too. Or, like you said, can they finally correct the course of their endeavors here? Either way, the hill's already in session. This bottom mid hill, always a brawl. Control of C and A going to be important to at least stabilize it.
Yeah, spawn's always going to be top priority. You know, the hill's great. Get in it when you can. But you got to make sure priority number one is controlling the spacing and the spawns on the map. That means putting resources towards C and Hay for hill 1, making sure you're spreading the opposing team towards Glass and Turbine, and then using that opportunity to get hills. And already Karmea, the young man, getting doubles in the feed.
In case you haven't seen Karmea's POV before, we've been watching him since Halo 5, Garrett. He's one of the quickest in the game. Expect this man to be moving and grooving, to be making plays. He's suppressing SuperCC as we say it. Man can a 360 spin his way out of that fight. In the meantime, his team does have the hill, at least for now. Rammyy there to neutralize him. Mason Cobb, you can see up on top. Control just trying to put that shock to work, but SuperCC not having it.
Oh my, SuperCC has a steady aim today. That's what we want to see. SuperCC has been this player that when Fnatic picked them up, they expected him to be that next great thing for this roster, and he just hasn't quite lived up to that hype yet, and we know his ability to do so, right? We saw how he started to dominate towards the end of Halo 5, started making a name for himself. Halo Infinite, it comes with its bumps and bruises thus far for this Fnatic team, but looking to smooth out those mistakes this time around. Incognito not getting them any time to breathe, though. I mean, when you look at it, it's about as clean of a hill as you can get.
Incognito definitely ruling that center hill, and I think a lot of it came down to that control, the tower side control that we saw out of Neighbor with the shock to really lock things down. As I say, Abature just trying to hide in the hill for the first couple seconds, but CC won't let him make it a double. He'll put the damage in. That'll open things up for the team, but they still got work to do. Hative and Neighbor still sitting by the hill.
You love to see that from CC, right? He takes the first fight, gets the kill, and he's ready for the second. That's a man who's thinking about the next steps already. That's what you need to expect from all these players today. It's not good enough just to win your one-on-ones, just to be ready for that initial fight. You have to be thinking multiple steps ahead and be ready to react faster than the opponents.
Cobb just sitting in the hill for now. Looks like Rammyy does take Abature. That'll lose, or at least diminish some of the defenses here. Rammyy starting to get aggressive too, but that hill very heavily captured here by Incognito. They got to break in and do it quickly. Rammyy will swing his way in. The biggest thing you want to see out of Fnatic, just to hold on to this hill, though, is some coverage on Attic, and we're not quite seeing that. Incognito still fighting for it. Karmea just squirming back. CC does manage to kill him, but somehow he repulsed the man into the water.
Karmea get a little lucky right there. I don't know how close that one actually was.
That was weird looking.
It sends him flying anyway. And Incognito, man, they've been tough to put out, but finally you can see Fnatic getting some spacing on the map. And Rammy's going to be your most important player right here, right? He has to make sure no one gets into this long haul for free, but he also has to be checking the crosses, right? And Hative's keeping him off that cross. Finally, Rammyy gets back to his position. He's going to help Sceptify, and this is why it's so powerful to be here. He's going to be able to clean everyone up, and this should mean hill for Fnatic, because you're going to see Incognito spawn all the way back at A, and there's really not enough time to get to this hill.
And Karmea can tell off of this spawn that it might not make sense to go for the rotation. As we say it, though, they might actually be going for a last-ditch effort just to try to get to the hill last second, get the save on it. Sceptify in it. He doesn't quite get the kill. Sceptify will break away with that, and Karmea just a second too late. That hill will go to Fnatic. The worry here is they didn't set up preemptively for the next hill in A. So Fnatic, not only do they get the point, they get the time to start the second one.
Yeah, that's a huge risk, and I'll say a blunder from Incognito, right? They sent the resources back to Hill 2. They get there with half a second to go, but they needed to kill Sceptify before he could take one. Sceptify survives long enough. He gets Hill, and what it eventually led to is all of Incognito falling down, and it basically ruined the next set of rotations for Incognito, making it so that you're going to have these 50-50 fights. Now, Incognito doing a great job of stabilizing because they're individual gunny thus far, but when it comes to team play, you want to see them be a little bit more regimented in how they're setting up for these hills.
And Mason Cobb will try to do that. When it comes to gunny, Karmea clearly has it, but they still got work to do. They'll hold down the hill. I like to see that Fnatic is taking their time breaking through this setup, though. They're not quite going to just dive at the hill aimlessly. Abature not going to let him control Attic, though. He'll take that. Karmea wins his piv over in A, and because of it, Rammyy now left by his lonesome. Going to be very difficult for Fnatic to push through. They maybe have one more try at this. As I say it, they're still losing fights.
Abature, a huge play right there. His responsibility is the cross. If they can't get rid of Abature, they can't get through the hill. That's exactly what happens. Abature had the cross on lock, and no one from Fnatic could get to that third hill, leading to an easy cap for Incognito. Now, Fnatic still set up for this next hill and sword in the hands of Sceptify, so you should expect a response relatively soon. But notice how Incognito's shoving all their players towards long haul. They're coordinating an effort to break through this platform and to get behind the players of Fnatic.
Good way to avoid Sceptify and Rammyy with that sword, and that's a great way to delete him too. Abature already hitting the head. He'll be covering the hill. This is quite the hill to lock down. Things get kind of crazy back here. We'll see what Abature can do for defense. Karmea, KotH Cobb going to pick up 2 in the feed. That'll thin out the numbers. Make it tough for Fnatic to break through. Juziro does finally get the kill he needs. Rammyy, I believe, died back C. And once again, Fnatic, it seems like they're a little staggered on the push here. Not quite coming in with good timing together. They're getting caught out by Karmea because of it.
And Fnatic just having paper-thin defenses there. They were set up first and did not expect the 3-man push from Incognito, and it ends up costing them dearly. I mean, they were set up first, but if you looked at the scoreboard, you'd have no idea. Fnatic only having seconds of time. Meanwhile, Incognito get about a quarter of the hill captured, and they're going to be able to spawn up and have one more good shot at getting towards this thing, but they have to focus down Rammyy. They cannot let this shock rifle dictate the game.
As you say it, they had a pretty good setup. Rammyy, of course, using the shock to just cover sight lines, does tag Hative. Abature, Karmea, they come away with kills, and the 2-man push into hill will stop that one in its tracks. Karmea now with the shock setup reconfigured. They're going to push through control to try to stagger him, but Karmea, he's ready to hit this. We'll see if he tags ahead. Fnatic need to be so careful on this push. A slight mistake, they won't get this.
This is why it's so important to have a player like Neighbor on this team, though. When you come back to that break, it was Karmea and Neighbor pushing together, you know, the new blood and the old, and that coordination is what really led to that hill break, and that's why Incognito has been having such a great chance in this game thus far. Honestly, when you look at the score lines, you say, hey, you know, the kills are about the same. What's the difference? And the difference is the coordination. I think that's largely due to the fact that Neighbor's in their comms. You know, you have very young players like Karmea who started grinding this game at 14 in Halo 5 and is starting to find himself a career before he even hits the age of 18, and now you pair him up with Neighbor, who's just, you know, he's had, it feels like 18 years of Halo in him. It's great to have those sort of partnerships. But Fnatic get the hill done. They're gonna tie it up, and now this is gonna be the most important hill of the game, in my opinion, and priority number 1 for both of these teams is to get A spawns.
You can't count Fnatic out of this. You said it. A side going to be so important. Juziro closest to it. He'll rotate back, get the coverage on top of the catwalk. He's got the shock to work with here too, but needs to thin out the numbers. Rammyy already dead. Karmea 1v1 does take it. That'll give him access to Elevator. Team will swap out with him. The beauty of being close to Elevator is the team spawn you get beside it. Get that extra defense to cover the hill. Fnatic looking to turn the tides of the game with this setup.
Oh, it's Neighbor who comes in with the camo, but Juziro has the better eyes. That's a man who's never wore contacts in his life. He saw him just as easy as if he had nothing at all. And this is just a deadly setup from Fnatic, right? Not only do they have A spawns, but they also had the cross from glass almost this entire time. And it just made life so easy for them. Even on this break, it's an easy collapse for Sceptify and the rest of his team. But Incognito, what's their best trait? It's their gunny, and when it comes to individual fights, they hardly lose them. Karmea comes out on top once again, and they break that hill through brute force.
Incognito do have the hill, like you said, was a little scrappy, though. You know what? Looks like they might have been able to fend him off. SuperCC is going to take a second to think about it as he goes bottom mid. Mason Cobb rips him a new one. Karmea will take a kill too. And Incognito with a sturdy setup here around the hill should give them access to come back in the capture time. Rammyy, Karmea flanked all the way out to Attic for that position. We talked about how important this is. He gets a kill for it too.
It's the shoe on the other foot now. Fnatic, they had the setup early on this hill. Now they find themselves on the back end of it. Incognito having 2 players towards A. Karmea all the way on the cross at glass. It's going to be tough to break through, and it's going to come down to some pivotal one-on-one fights. But with Karmea having that sword, it's going to shut things down short as Hative looks to get the cleanup on Chase. Oh my, SuperCC, a massive kill for his team.
It was a kill from the death, but 3 members of Fnatic now in the hill because of it. Going to be a fight just to hold it off for that last second. Camo up bottom mid as well. A dilemma to worry about. Abature, he's already picked it up. Rammyy can't focus on it. They need to stay in the hill planted. And you expect Abature to come back with a little revenge. Can they take it in time? Sceptify line of defense. Appy takes the kill. SuperCC will try his hand, make it a double as they shut them down. That's a hill for Incognito.
And it's going to make life so much easier for Incognito. Now they don't necessarily have to play hill time. It's just about playing Slayer and dictating the map, right? You can let the game time pop away. 1 minute and 35. It's easy enough to play Slayer for that amount of time. Getting the hill, it can be a bit tough, but it's a perfect spot for Incognito. They just have options to work with. Fnatic, they have to play as if their life's on the line. You can't afford to make any more mistakes.
It's a challenging hill here for sure. It's very difficult to hold on to guaranteed control, especially when you got somebody flanking back C constantly. Juziro going to do exactly that. Hative just looking for a target. Mason Cobb did not spot Juziro on the flank. There's the info. He'll wrap around, try to clean him up with the damage that's been done. Hopefully he finds that target though. Both melees whiff. Juziro comes in with a second. Sceptify gets out with the fight, and that's a numbers advantage for Fnatic to maybe work with, but not too much hill time collected yet.
Abature's the last straggler, but he has the most important spawn, right? C, and then his teammates split at A, creating a pseudo pinch. So Abature's, he's only 1 player alive, right? But because of his position on the map, he multiplies into 3. He gets the best split possible of his teammates, and that's going to push Fnatic out of the hill quickly. And you can see Juziro and the rest of Fnatic are having to push through the map in order to get to that hill, while Incognito, they can kind of rest easy sitting at back C, sitting in tower and playing these crosses, and that's exactly what they're doing. They have no plans to get into this hill and try to capture it.
And that's what's become worrisome here for Fnatic. Fnatic are running out of time. That time now taking less than 30 seconds to work with. They need to plant their feet in the hill to freeze it. Incognito just suppressing him. Hative not letting that man peek the ledge. They'll put him down, and now Mason Cobb just roaming with the sword and the camo. What do you do? 17 seconds to make a move. Fnatic, it's got to be a move together. And Mason Cobb, he's just waiting. Man is like Jaws. He's a shark. You get too close, he'll clean you up.
Yeah, it's just such a great spot, right? You have camo. You don't really have to worry about having coverage. Just look as much of the map as possible. But SuperCC slips. 4 seconds and counting. As long as they're within this hill, by the time it gets to 0, they'll get an overtime, right? So I think they guaranteed themselves an overtime, right? So we're going to see a little sudden death here. They need to capture this hill, but already Incognito coming out swinging, winning the gunfights. Juziro and SuperCC are the last ones to try to get into this hill. You still have a little bit of time to work with.
No, you don't. They got to dive in the hill right here. Rammyy, he takes 2 as he does it just to stabilize the sudden death. Sceptify a sliver of time to step in the hill. He will, but a back smack out of App to stop him. And Juziro can't get there fast enough to close it. That will be a 3-2 for Incognito in game 1 of the series.
And what made the difference for Incognito was their setup on the map, right? They were forcing Fnatic to spawn in pipe room over and over. Karmea, like you said, on that flank with the sword, it eventually comes to fruition, and they get the break and they get the win. Now Fnatic having to try to find a way to recover on this Slayer.
Right. Fnatic need to stabilize here in Slayer. A little dicey that it's going to be streets as the battlefield. We've seen this snowball very early on. That starting strat going to be so important in setting the pace. And Fnatic, if they cannot dictate the pace of this game, they're down 2-0 in a best-of-5 series, and their tournament life, by the way, on the line. This is the lower bracket. Both teams here fighting to stay alive.
Rocket's always going to be the prize jewel to start, but you can see Fnatic really giving a wide berth off the start, really letting Incognito grab those rockets, and I think it's going to come out to the benefit of Incognito for now, but there is still one rocket that's down. Oh my god, Abature got him right off the spawn. SuperCC, you're in trouble at the back of PD.
Oh no. You gotta love the collapse at Incognito too. Karmea, he gets a whiff of it. He just curb slides his way into PD. He picks it up. Rammyy with a trade outside in the alleyway. This will thin things out, but any team to come away with a numbers advantage and high ground to work with, you can see Incognito slowing down the pace of play, recognizing they've got the high side of the map. They got the shotgun too. They're in position to dominate if they don't make mistakes.
Neighbor's looking for, Neighbor wants to pounce on these players towards pillars, but he's just waiting for the right opportunity, and that's some great listening, right? That's Incognito having great comms, knowing where players are coming from. Neighbor makes a decisive play, gets in with that shotgun, gets the easy kill, and now the rest of his team is here to capitalize.
Take a look at the recipe there for Incognito. Not just the shotgun, but Karmea back map with the stalker. He'll slide in, get up close and personal. There goes Rammyy. Sceptify will try to flank. Sneaky play to Sceptify. I'm not sure they heard him. Karmea, he dives straight out to chow the alleyway, but they're not ready for Sceptify to pick up two back-to-back. There's an ankle breaking play. Make it three! I spoke too soon. Sceptify, the man's still going.
It's his drop shield that shuts him down short, though. It's unfortunate for him, but it shows you how important timing is, right? Sceptify last alive for his team. Everyone else drops. He goes as fast as possible to get behind enemy lines without them knowing, and then he uses that to be the downfall of Incognito, who uses his teammate as a pinch, gets an easy two, turns it into a triple, and then unfortunately not able to get the overkill, but the damage was already done at that point.
And the thing is, do you feel like maybe Incognito is playing too quickly in a moment like that to not anticipate that type of rotation, that overextension back base? If Karmea instead, takes his time and goes through the back of the base, he would have caught that player and we wouldn't have run into that pinch. Either way, they're still stabilizing, right? A 7-kill advantage to work with. They still got rockets. KotH gonna pop out with a double, by the way, at the end of his life. And just more time for Abature to think about how he wants to use the boom booms.
And the thing about Fnatic's play so far is it's been good, but it's been reactionary, right? It's been about making the best out of the bad. Whereas Incognito, they've been proactive about everything. They're the ones that are pushing into the spawns. They're the ones that are finding the collapses. Meanwhile, Fnatic's just doing their best to make sure this game doesn't get out of hand, keep it close, and wait for their moment to strike. And that moment may have just started now. They get the numbers. They have some spread on the map, but they need to start getting kills. And it's Hative and Karmea working together that take down Sceptify. That's gonna slow this Fnatic roster down.
Fnatic need to flip a switch and do it quickly. 6-kill deficit, halfway point achieved by Incognito. Karmea just staying alive. He's got a stalker to work with. Fnatic have a perimeter set up. You can see the L. We'll call it a U. Shout out to Coach Callis. The setup across the map here to work with. They need to hold it.
Neighbor trying to do his best to keep Sceptify at bay. He has the angle, the shotgun in the hands of Sep, but it's not enough. The trades come through, but at this point, I mean, Incognito, as long as they go trade for trade, right, they're fine with however this plays. The only thing that they need to be careful about is making sure that the power weapons don't get away from them. And that's going to start with these rockets that are coming up in 5 seconds.
As those rockets spawn, you can see Karmea on the chase as well. They've got coverage top map. They're about to get down to center. SuperCC last line of defense. Takes his time, but does clean up Neighbor. Karmea will chase him. Oh, well, it happens. I expect Incognito to get the rockets. Don't think they have just yet to do die. Abature picks up rocks. He'll fire them in. CC not quite going to get tagged, but damage done here. 34 on the board for Incognito to work with.
Notice how Fnatic's always been keeping it wide. They like to take their perimeters. They like to spread out. But when Rockets are coming up, they're not really putting up much of a fight for them. And it's leading to free kills for Incognito. And so far, I think Fnatic, they need to tighten themselves up. They need to be right on top of each other. Get the team shot going. Do not let these power weapons go by. So far, we've always seen shotgun, stalker rifle, rockets in the hands of Incognito. And to me, that's what's really made the difference in this game.
We need to see him pick up the weapons. You said it. Right now, they're clearly struggling. Down by 7. Make it still 7. Now 8 as Incognito continues to stabilize. Abature slides in, picks up the stalker. I think it was just about... Okay, he did want it. Still got 91% to work with. That weapon continues to trade hands on Incognito. They continue to use it to bully Fnatic. Fnatic now forced to play defensive as well, despite having high ground here. Pressure coming in. Little bait and switch. Neighbor working together with Abature as they push down to back A. If they take trades, that is money, and Neighbor knows it.
And I love this from Fnatic, right? They changed up the game plan. They started to tighten up a little bit. They're playing with each other, and Neighbor's in trouble. That's how you combat how Incognito's playing. Fnatic, for so much in this game, were spread out, playing the one-on-ones. Now, when they start to feel the pressure, they tighten up. They're playing as a unit. They're checking the same angles, and it's led to back-to-back kills. But it might be too little too late. They're still down by 6, and Incognito's knocking on the door of getting a victory in game 2.
Incognito back to Tiger into the corner is what it looks like. These boys not ready to go down without a fight. Rockets up. These are the Rockets for the game here. Fnatic need to win this. Rammyy, huge melee. Can't quite stay alive though. Hative with the kill and Sceptify. Make it a double. Looking for 3. Won't find it on Juziro. They'll slide and pick up rocks. 47-40 and Mason Cobb with the Rockets.
And this is what's been plaguing Fnatic. I mean, if we looked at the end screen and we take a look at the power weapon kills, you'll see that's where the difference in this game was made. Rockets consistently being in the hands of Incognito, and it's only a matter of time before this one's done and dusted. We see Abature flying in. Rammyy will go down, and it's a 2-0 lead for Incognito. Fnatic finding their tournament life on the line very soon.
It was too little too late at that point, and there's too much confidence in the park of Incognito. You got to shut down the confidence. These are young guns on the rise, Garrett. If you don't shut them down while they're young, what are you going to do?
I mean, this is just such a confidence boost for these guys over on Incognito, right? And,
yep.
When you're telling Neighbor, hey, it's like maybe you still have it as a player. You know what I'm saying? When Coach Cobb retires the coach part and he comes back as Mason Neighbor Cobb, that's when you have a menace on your hands. You cannot let this Incognito squad get any more confidence. It's about making a statement in this game. If you're Fnatic, you need to win 2-0 and you need it not to be close.
Here it is. Opening strat, so important. And take a look at that kill feed. I see a lot of blue. Incognito coming out with their plays. And Abature, what the flank? He rotated the whole map. Found the snipe for it. They'll find the ball. Early setup for Incognito. It is very clear who still has confidence and momentum in this series just off that opening.
Yeah, Fnatic is just... They're in the water with no paddle, and it's Abature who's punishing them. 2 for him, and he's trying to get the 3rd. He eventually goes down, but not before his team gets that ball away. And look at this. He's rotating it all the way to B where his teammates are spawning. Can he get around the corner? Yes, he will. And that means the overshield is going to have to play through the open ground in order to get towards that ball. This is a beautiful milk spot. Wow. They didn't get overshield, but they got the ball time.
What a series of plays at Incognito. All starts with App hitting snipes, relays the ball over with the repulse. It's collected into a play, and that OS, like you said, neutralized, limited in opportunity. Fnatic, they still do find the pickup. They'll rotate it back tower. Oh, well, it happens. Mason Cobb, he's at it again. There's a double.
And well, Fnatic has the ball. It looks like they were able to get it off. So, I mean, it's a great break from Incognito, but Fnatic do the job done right. You know, they get the ball off. They're going to be able to buy a little bit of time, but they have to just go slay for slay. You know, so far, it's just been the story of the clean wipes from both teams. There has been no trade Halo being played. You're seeing it once again as Incognito go 3 down, and Neighbor, well, he could make it a quick 4th. He's going to fall, and Fnatic have a great opportunity here, right? Everything just went right. You got the 4 down. You have ball in the back tower position. It's about how you set up and execute next. Overshield in 3 seconds, and SuperCC's the first to fall. Suddenly, Fnatic's spot looks to be in question.
Fnatic trying to stabilize Juziro. Play, making opportunity for him. He'll pick up Mason Cop. Gonna get over to OS. Sceptify still, despite the efforts there at Incognito, he did manage to pick up balls. So Juziro coming in like a wrecking ball himself. Hative making it very difficult, though. There goes the OS. He had to brute force his way through into bottom mid as he does pick up a heat wave. Now, one shot because of it. That ball still in rotation. SuperCC gonna collect on his just desserts. There goes Abature. And Fnatic still holding on despite the opening.
And now the question is, how does Incognito want to find this break? It looks like they're going to send a Hative towards Nest while players start to mount pressure through top mid. They need to coordinate a push, and Hative's just trying to do too much on his own right there. His job, just to get damage and stay alive. He goes a little bit too much on the challenge. Juziro gets the punish, and although they find this break, it's going to be an easy enough ball play, and because the kills happen so far apart, Fnatic's going to be able to get up and play for this ball reset in time.
Well, they can play for the ball. They can't quite play for sniper, though. I think that was already given up to Incognito, and that leads to an opportunity for Hative and the boys to slay. Karmea picks up the ball. He'll send it back to tower. KotH Cobb, in the meantime, he's getting pelted by Sceptify, who's looking for blood. He'll take Karmea. Somehow that's a ninja. I don't see it, but we'll take those. Fnatic gonna try to answer off their numbers here as Incognito. They'll try to stabilize.
It's about sending a statement, right? You know, he knows it's not a ninja, but the rest of his teammates, they sure don't know. You know what I'm saying? They just see it on the scoreboard. And they might be getting, you know, hey, they might be getting a little checked out from seeing it as they go see the kill feed. But Sceptify, he's able to get the rock back in his hands. And it looks like Fnatic, I mean, with how Incognito came out of this game, you would not expect the scoreline to be this way, but it's been some great ball holds from Fnatic, some good rotations, and some quick plays that have made the difference as Sceptify tries to get as much value from his life before he heads down.
I was waiting for an opportunity to say, Sceptify, this man can fry. I don't know, some sort of... I'm just trying to rhyme out here. Make a song of it. Abature, in the meantime, he's off the map, and so is the ball. Wait a second. He had a game plan with that OS. He'll pop it. He'll get aggressive. There goes Juziro. Hold this for the double. Ooh. And a little repulse just to disconnect the nades off his body there. Stay alive, back B. Ball in the hands of Incognito.
Hey, I'm saying, man, Abature's playing at 100% right now. He is definitely feeling the zone. He's not making any wasted movements. He's hitting his snipe shots. He has clear, thought-out plans whenever he's moving across the map. This is the Abature that so many people have started to see as a rising star in Halo Infinite, and it's for a reason, right? He has individual talent to spare, and if he can really become like a leader for a team, you can start to see Abature having a long career in Halo Infinite.
Game's looking good for him so far, for sure. I mean, 11, 10, and 9. Almost as many assists as he has kills, and as many assists as the rest of his teammates. The man definitely popping off. As we say it, though, it might not matter. Fnatic, they have figured something out in this first round. They lock things down back B, and that is a round over to Fnatic. They will continue to stay alive, I guess, in this tournament. A shutdown on Incognito for now.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a clean back half of the round, right? You know, a little rocky to start, but that's to be expected with how much momentum Incognito had. When Fnatic were able to get to their spots, have their setup, that's where they looked effortless. They were able to play the ball easily. It was Incognito, although they're finding these kills, Fnatic was just playing keep away, and it was too much for Incognito to overcome. But once again, it's Incognito who really wins the start. They get heat wave, they get map position, they get ball. The only thing that they gave up in the process was the sniper to SuperCC.
And because CC's positioned to cover the OS, they might be giving up a little bit more. CC looking for a kill. Sceptify already has Karmea. Juziro on the chase. Hative gonna look to toss the ball off the map, land the melee as he does it, and that leads to a trade. So nice work there at a Hative, but guaranteed Fnatic are working with an OS. And CC working with a sniper, gonna look to put this to good use.
And it's just odd positioning from Incognito. I don't think Fnatic really knew how to handle it at first. You know, ball's resetting, overshield's in their hands, and Incognito said, yeah, B is our home. We're not leaving this green area. And I don't know why Incognito played as slow as they did there. It's going to get free ball time over to Fnatic. It's going to maximize their overshield use. It's going to make it a lot easier than it probably should have been. But we finally see the break come through. Incognito able to stop that ball short. And now Sceptify trying to do his best to be that last man alive, and he does get away. That heat wave going to remain in the hands of Fnatic.
They maintain control. The heat wave, the snipe, they're getting aggressive back A as well. Ball in their hands. They'll look for a setup here too. SuperCC going to cover Rat Tunnel. Sceptify there. I like this positioning. Sneaky if somebody gets close, or if they fly through the doorway. You can see Incognito coming in hot and heavy. And Sceptify, no time to turn around. He's obliterated. Abature will get some shots across, but it's Mason Cobb with the snipe on the perimeter who picks him up and has some coverage here for the OS as well. Oh, tags. My God. Neighbor not looking as old as the Twitch chat thinks he is.
And that was a huge play against the one, and it just alleviates the pressure towards Overshield. It lets Karmea get it, and well, he doesn't even have to use a bit of it to get that first hit on Rammyy. And oh yes, you love to see it. That's why it's so important to go practice those jumps, right? Wasting any time while you have this Overshield is a no-no. You have to be able to get right into that fight, and Karmea, he's as good at the movement tech as anyone in this game.
Cobra Team halfway to
Karmea definitely top 001%, I think, when it comes down to movement mechanics. Dude is just speedy on the map. Steady shot at a neighbor here to cover him. He'll lock down tower. This is making it tough for Fnatic to even find an answer to get to the ball. They might have to pour their resources through garages. I say it, they do find a way to overwhelm. That ball will rotate back to A. Karmea here to support. Got to keep tabs on that ball roll, though. You can see Abature did die with it. Karmea now left by his lonesome for a couple to fight him.
And this is great from Karmea. You know, he just gets the damage in, tries to live as long as he can. Unfortunately, gets caught out at the very tail end of that play. Question is, did he do enough for his teammates to get there? And it does not look so. And now Fnatic, they have a great opportunity here. You see, they have a rotation towards tower, and Sceptify's creeping in the back of A.
They know this. They know this.
But even if Sceptify goes down right here, it's not really that big of a deal, in my opinion, because... Oh, actually, it is kind of a big deal because he gave up the power weapons. Yeah, sniping heat wave. That's unfortunate, but I was going to say it holds them back. But having the power weapons, giving them up, there must have been a miscommunication with Fnatic on the spawn cycle right there.
And good communication at Incognito to know that he was back there and to just isolate him, focus on that, not worry about balls. They slowly picked apart Fnatic, and now they're just working with their resources. What are you laughing at, by the way? Was it the nade shot?
He shot one of his valuable sniper shots into a grenade that no one was there. Yep. I was like, there's two sniper shots, bro. You're going to use one of them to, like, pre-fire a grenade?
At least the enemy doesn't have it. There's some useful tech, or I guess utility. Make it a stick for one, a shot for the other. Rammyy picking up the OS. Fnatic will still get away with ball despite the plays. Things getting a little wild here back A, and Fnatic need this round to close the game.
Yeah, Fnatic have a great position here. They just need to keep Incognito at bay, Overshield in their hands, but Karmea comes through with that heat wave. And although Rammyy finds one, the rest of his teammates have fallen, and he needs to find a way to survive the onslaught. And it's not going to happen. What a beautiful coordinated collapse from Incognito, applying pressure to all three lanes at the same time, keeping Fnatic away from each other. And suddenly this round looks more and more likely that it's going to go towards Incognito.
Juziro tries to get the ball. He died. 2 seconds. Make it one. That's it. Incognito. They take round 2. And Fnatic find themselves... Where do they find them? I was going to say on the... when you walk the plank, on the plank, right? They're about to jump off the ship. That is this this tournament. I killed it on the execution.
It's sink or swim, and they're just treading water. They need to find a way to get some strength and to push this water away. They need to be able to reach the end of the pool, and so far, Incognito, they just keep stretching the distance. They've consistently fought back Fnatic. They consistently find the breaks, and they have been able to control the power weapons, everything you need for a recipe of success. And Fnatic now find themselves floundering at the beginning of this game.
Oh, they're definitely floundering, if that's the word we want to use. A double already at a KotH Cobb, the man looking to make more plays here. He'll suppress Juziro, already predicting spawns. That nade's going to go to Rammyy. Got to worry about the 2-2 here, though. Sceptify coming up through top mid. Neighbor just narrowly avoiding it all. Comes back in the action. Doesn't quite hit the snipe. The melee should hopefully come through. A little repulse to get off him. But that's a spree for KotH Cobb. Man's not going down here.
No, and he's just finding so much value out of his life too, right? Even if he doesn't get kills, he's keeping them away. Sniper in his hands and Incognito getting more time. And this is the thing, Fnatic need to come out of these gates stronger. Every single time we've had a round start, it's been Incognito that's won the start of the game. Fnatic need to be able to clean that up if they want to have any chance to come back from this series. But first things first, you got to stop this rotation. You got to fly.
Incognito feeling themselves too much at this point. They're winning too many pivs. Rammyy here on the chase. And look at them just scamper away, make it so difficult. The moment he thinks they're gone, App is back, and he's dropped comboing with a heat wave. What do? Swap out with Neighbor. App now getting the shields. He'll bait and switch his way into a melee trade. So much efficiency out of Incognito here as they're gaining more than you'd ever expect them to bargain for. And Fnatic can't find more than 1 point off of this. They need that OS.
Thing I love about Abature, man, is he finds the value in the milliseconds. You know what I'm saying? There's not one player that drop weapons more than him. Every single time he can find a little bit of extra value in the game, he's going to use it. Doesn't matter if he's dropping his BR, AR, heat wave, or snipe. He's making sure that his BR or weapon is up and ready for any type of fight. But so far, Fnatic have found the break, and it's been because of this overshield. Rammyy able to get 2, and while Neighbor... Ooh, little sneaky play from Neighbor will get him a nice little kill.
Smart. What does he do, though? He doesn't even try to shoot him. He just banks a nade off the floor, guarantees the kill. Even if Rammyy, you know, turns, and he's got no opportunity to basically turn around and make an outplay. Little things like that, Neighbor guaranteed, picked up back in the H3 days. Brings him right into this game here. Fnatic still flailing a little bit as they tried to hold some semblance of control.
Karmea wants to find this break so desperately, wants to just get a nice clean 3-0 finish. The Fnatic making it a little bit tough. And so far, it's getting dicey up at C, man. These teams are really going at each other. And what's the most surprising thing through it all is that ball didn't get played. Fnatic keeps it in their hands, and SuperCC getting some extra time.
Sweat fest out here for sure. Somehow Neighbor's had just about every snipe in the game. And you love to see Incognito trust him as the sniper here, too, considering all the young, cracked kids we got on this roster. As I say it, that's a little unfortunate. Man had his backside facing the water and paid the price. Thankfully, Incognito had the ball.
Imagine Neighbor drops his weapon as soon as he gets repulse, keeps that sniper on the map, you know? That's the next level of tech, though. Yeah, you know, that's the next level of tech. Oh, there we go. We're starting to see things fall apart for Incognito, though. Fnatic are starting to find the kills in the feed, and Neighbor's so important right here. Look, if there's 3 BRs, there's no shot you're getting away. Oh, Hative! Oh, how do you do it?
My man was stuck like glue there for a second. He managed to just come down, stay alive. OS not going to do too much, except barely let him get up by the skin of his underpants. 60-44 here. Incognito still with a lead. They're working hard just to stabilize things back tower. They got to get back to the ball. Karmea's the one to do it. App going to get clotheslined a little bit by a melee. All while it happens, so Incognito still holding on to their lead.
And already Neighbor finding the flank, and although Fnatic have done a great job in the back half of this game, it's still Incognito who have the lead. And oh, yo, this man dicing him up like Kyrie, bro. He's got the handles with the ball, hitting the curb slide while throwing, keeps it in his hands, but it's Fnatic who already have the cutoff ready. They find the break, and Abature is going to be the most forward, but he has a heat wave to work with, which could spell disaster for those players in A.
Juziro with a double, looking for 3, doesn't quite find it. I'll be honest, he's saying Incognito need to win here. They need to shut this out to 3-0. I'm worried about Fnatic gaining any momentum in this series, knowing the caliber of this team. I feel like they could find their footing, bounce back, and things could get scary. So Incognito looking to close it. They got a great setup. Ball back B. Fnatic going to come in with all the pressure. Mason Cobb now down. Karmea in a beautiful spot for a flank. Juziro now drop, make it 2. He'll repulse him back. Sceptify now getting lit up. Make it a double, and the ball's still in their hands. That might be game. Right there, Garrett.
SuperCC tries to go Rambo. The nade doesn't connect, and it's Karmea who makes the most important play of the game. The way that he stayed back is so important. We'll take a look at it in the post game, but it's the 3-0 sweep for Incognito and Fnatic. Things are not going right. There's some changes that are needed.